Welcome to your daily writing habit, episode number 162. If you're writing a book or thinking about writing a book, or maybe you've started writing your book and you're having some trouble finishing it, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, also known as Christine Inc., INK. Every day I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 18 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have learned that three things in particular have a huge impact on an author's success, and they can actually turn someone who doesn't really consider themselves an author or a writer into one. They are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's inspirational quote. There's not much to be said about the period except that most writers don't reach it soon enough. William Zinsser. So there's a lesson there in brevity, succinct communication. All right. So what I've been covering this week are the 7 questions I ask new authors when they're new when they start working with me, whether as book development clients, ghostwriting clients, or book coaching clients. So it's part of my new author intake interview. I get to hear their story of why they've decided to write a book and work through any obstacles they're struggling with, or even help them figure out their why, because they might have a few different whys when they start working with me. So we ask all sorts of questions, and answering these questions, it helped them get clear on the why, figure out their most sensible writing plan, determine their publishing plan, traditional versus self-published, and so much more. So we are up to question number 7. And this is the get real question. This is me as your virtual, your daily writing habit book coach. This is me challenging you to get real. So I want you to think back to how long you have been talking about writing a book, or even thinking about it. Maybe you haven't told anybody yet. So this could be thinking about it or talking about it. So I want you to get real, try to think back to the date. You don't have to know the specific date, but at least, how many months, how many years you've been tossing around the idea of writing a book. So do you have that number? Let's pretend for the sake of argument, it's been 2 years. Now add that from today. So as I'm recording this today, it is September 2019. And we're going for the sake of argument that you have been thinking about or talking about writing a book for 2 years. So when the calendar turns to September 2021, and you're still talking about and thinking about writing your book, but you haven't taken any actions towards doing it. This is getting real here. This is what I do as a book coach, by the way. I get real. So if that's your style, hire me as your book coach anyway. So the calendar turns to 2021, September 2021. Again, for sake of argument, you've been talking about writing a book for 2 years. Is that okay? And I want you to be very honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with me, but this is all about you and yourself and that book that's inside of you and your future readers. So in a way, you're getting very honest with them because they've been waiting for 2 years. Are you going to make them wait for two more years? Or again, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 5 years. I've had clients 15 or 20 years. They have been talking about writing a book. I've had clients become very emotional when we start working together, when they finally realize they're going to get their book done. Again, whether they're using me as a book developer, a book coach, an editor, a ghostwriter, there's several different ways I help people write books, but it all comes down to when they realize that they're going to get the book done. And this is, whether you decide to use an outside person or not, but when you make that decision to get started, when you make that decision to stick with your book idea and not let it go all the way to the end, when you make that decision to commit, it's a very emotional moment. It's a very moment of lightening, of unburdening yourself and realizing, oh my God, this thing's finally going to get done. And that's where I talk about the why, your why for writing a book. A lot of the why comes from that, where it's because I can't not do it. I mean, that's some of my authors, that's their why, where it's I've been carrying this thing around and this story, and I've had authors tell me this story won't let me go. I've tried to make it go away. I've tried to say, I don't want to write a book. I'm not going to write you, but the idea, the story, whatever it is, it won't let me go. I have to write it because it's never going to let me go. That's true for some authors, but what's true for you? And again, going back to today's question, how long have you been thinking or talking about writing a book? Add that period of time starting today. So, look at your calendar. How far out does that put you? 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. You see where I'm going? And is that okay to wait the same amount of time that you've been waiting? Again, Kind of a serious question here today, and that wraps up my 7 author intake interview questions. And if you want to see all 7 questions, look up episodes 158 to 162. Today is episode 162. So 158 to 162, you'll get the whole set. And since this episode is airing on a Saturday, that means tomorrow is Sunday story time here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I read excerpts from client books to show you how it's done. So we're going to show rather than my usual telling. Show versus tell is a huge theme with me. So on Sundays, here on Your Daily Writing Habit, I show instead of tell in Sunday story time. So tune in for that, and also be sure and drop by my Inc. Authors group on Facebook for motivation, accountability, book writing, publishing resources, and more. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I'm helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. And if you know someone else who wants to write a book, please let them know about Your Daily Writing Habit. They can listen to it on their Amazon Alexa device, iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, wherever they listen to podcasts. Thank you very much. And until tomorrow, happy writing.